clock is ticking. Kickoff is 1 hour away. And it's time for KVNU Game Day, sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Cache Valley Bank Mortgage, Castelite, and LSS Insurance. Now, to break down the game, here's the longtime voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis.
The game tonight starts the second half of the season, but this could be the game to win the Mountain West Championship. Look at it this way. Utah State has one conference defeat, but the team that beat them, Boise State, now has two after last week. And in the Mountain Division, only the opponent tonight, Colorado State, is unbeaten. So you take care of them, the Aggies would have the edge, and Utah State would just have to win the rest of their games, and they'd be in the championship game in December. But as we need to always point out, and the coaches are as well, one game at a time. It's way off. But tonight just feels like that has to happen to keep a title shot alive. That third game in a row out on the road, another comeback win for the Aggies against UNLV. Offensive lineman Dimitriak Aliafua.
We've been in that situation before this season, and we've come out on top. Honestly, all the time we talk about playing harder, longer, and that's what we were able to do in that game. We were able to come out with a win.
That's right. In fact, what was it? Coach Anderson was saying after the game, remember, that the team wasn't exactly celebrating the win as much as they know where they are still trying to head.
I love the fact that we've got a group that is hard on themselves, and that when you walk in there, they're not in there dancing, celebrating. They're looking like, man, Coach, we got to do better. Coach, we can do better. So I love that about them. I told them to celebrate it because getting a win against anybody, especially on the road in conference play, is hard. So in that sense, they deserved it.
So from UNLV to tonight's homecoming opponent, Colorado State, they have two Mountain West wins in a row. They're coming in with a really good defense. But I'll tell you what, that improving offense goes into it, because last week that defense was stuffing the New Mexico Lobos quite a bit in the game in Albuquerque.
We've got a lot of work to do this week to get ready to play, but we have a lot of respect for the team we're going to play and realize that this will be a big-time Mountain West contest.
Again, that's Steve Addazio, the head coach there. We're playing Colorado State now for a whopping 16th time as a homecoming opponent. So this very important rivalry contest in Logan tonight, CBS Sports Network's doing it. It will show it to the country on this Friday night. It's Colorado State 3-3 overall, and the Aggies at 4-2. And we have our KVNU game day on both KVNU and The Fan. And it's presented tonight, again, by Jarek's Fine Jewelry, one of our great sponsors, always reminding you, make it special, make it Jarek's. It's Al Lewis and Craig Hislop here on KVNU and The Fan. And like I said earlier, Craig, you wouldn't have listed this kind of early still in the season game with the Rams as kind of a must-win for the Aggies, but all of a sudden now, to really get where they want to be, this game's important.
This is a midseason game. It carries a lot of weight, and I think CSU feels about the same as the Aggies do. The Air Force win over Boise State sets this up because it gives the Broncos two losses. The Aggies and the Air Force have one conference loss, but the Aggies do have the tiebreak with the Falcons because they beat them. And again, Boise State did beat the Aggies, but the Broncos sit at two losses already in the league compared to the Aggies one. So here's CSU 2-0. In the league, beating San Jose State and New Mexico, the only team with a better record in the league than the Aggies, at least in this division. So an Aggie win tonight leaves the Aggies with one loss, and it also gives the Aggies the tiebreak with CSU because they would have beaten them if that's the outcome.
That's absolutely right. So let's talk about this Colorado State team. Craig, let's face it, it was kind of a miserable start for them, but they have a little something going on right now.
Oh, yeah. They're losing to San Dakota. Let's try that again. South Dakota State. And Vanderbilt.
SDSU, but it's a different one.
And that was not what they had planned. So they got it together with the win over Toledo, went out to Iowa. And this is a real key game for me in evaluating this team. Lost a close, hard-fought game to a number 5 team at the time, 24-14. Knock off San Jose State and New Mexico, holding UNM to like 76 yards of total offense, second-best total defensive game in CSU history, and giving up like 11 passing yards and allowing UNM no offensive scores. They literally beat the Lobos as badly as San Diego State and Air Force beat the Lobos. Last couple of games, CSU's rolled up a pair of 450-yard total offensive efforts, a good pass-run balance. The story, to me, is their defense, the number 9 defense in the country. And you look at this, the last 4 games, they have not given up more than like 283, 84 yards of total offense to anybody, and no more than 113 rushing yards in the last 4 games to any team. They are a really good defensive football team.
So that matchup of our offense against their defense big tonight. What has led to them being better after that start? Their coach again, Steve Addazio.
I think that we've had some really great preparation over the last few weeks. I thought with the bye week we had an extra week of preparation, and I thought that showed. We were sharp, we were consistent, and both sides of the ball and special teams. And this is what it's all about, learning in our program and in a young development of our program right now, that how much the preparation matters. The detail of the preparation matters.
Okay, there's the coach there. Now, we have seen the Aggies, we got some playmakers, guys that maybe can play at the next level in football. We've had some, again, better things with the draft the last little while. But this Rams team, Craig, has some real standouts that we need to watch for in the game tonight.
I think they've got star power in a couple of positions, and the thing I've been looking at, Todd Centeio, the quarterback, has made himself into a 60% passer, and he's not. At some point, I would have thought maybe he's a little bit of drag on the offense. He's improved a lot, and they've got the Boston College transfer running back David Bailey back from injury, running well. And they've got, talking about star power, the tight end, Trey McBride is considered by some the best tight end in the country. And I'm assuming Dante Wright gets back into the lineup today, and a very good wide receiver. And
Coach acted like maybe they'd have him this game.
That's going to be a big difference, because he can take pressure off of McBride, throwing to him and making the Aggie defense worry about both of them. I like the linebacker, DeQuan Jackson, 3 tackles for loss in the Iowa game. Scott Patchen on the defensive line. Here's a guy that comes in from Miami, a guy that maybe not played that much there, is really benefiting from his chance to play in this change of scenery. He's a tough one to stop. The punter, Brian Stonehouse, talk about elite, 50 yards a punt this year. As I understand it, if he keeps this up, he will retire the record for the highest career punting average,
yep.
Which is incredible. Mm-hmm. And he's done it for 5 years now.
And everybody says it's because of elevation. He goes to sea level and does the same stuff too. He really does.
That is really true. He's very good. And the place kicker, Caden Camper, I think he's a lead in that he has like more field goals than anybody in the country. They just sometimes wish they could get, and we'll talk about this in a minute, touchdowns instead of field goals when they get in the red zone. By the way, Steve Addazio, second year's head coach, was at Temple for a couple of years, 7 years at Boston College, where he had 1 losing season. Very tight with Urban Meyer. He assisted Urban at Florida. He's known for putting out hard-nosed teams that run the ball well and play defense and will push you around on defense.
And that's what they're trying to do, and that's what there's more starting to happen. So tonight, Colorado State is starting a 2-game homestand for the Aggies, and hopefully it'll be better than the last 2-game homestand we had, the defeats to Boise State and BYU. You need to have more of the magic like we have seen. This is the first Aggie team, Craig, to ever go out and begin a season 3-0 on the road in the last 43 years is what this team has done with those comeback wins. And those victories, again, away from Merlin Olsen Field have all been double-digit comeback wins, 2 of them in the last 35 seconds. Now, but Craig, let's not maybe stay on that tonight. Let's maybe keep the Aggies in the game to the fourth quarter, make it interesting tonight.
Yeah, I worry, and it's conceivable now, and I'm going to tell you that right now, that the Aggies could lose their 3rd home game in this game. I worry that tonight's circumstances don't find the Aggies too far behind CSU before they get to their fourth quarter when they do all their good stuff. Utah State has trailed in 5 of the 6 games and after the first quarter, trailed all 6 games at half. They've outscored opponents, however, in the fourth, 68-30, and they seem to continue to be able to make key defensive plays in the fourth, a stopper, forcing a 3-and-out, or a turnover or something when it's needed the most. And then that's when the offense finally seems to do things without hurting themselves. The other night I heard you guys on the postgame point out that in each series the Aggies had managed something negative on each drive that was holding themselves back. And then in the final drive, they finally avoided those plays that tend to hurt themselves. Thus, they got into the end zone. But getting 2 scores behind CSU and thinking that you can make that up, that could be a problem. And I say that in respect of their defense again. And I want to mention, while I'm still thinking about it, Mountain West honors for Shaq Bond and Devin Tompkins.
Deserved.
Mountain West Players of the Week. Tompkins named to the Paul Hornung honor roll. Savon Scarver ties the NCAA record for most career kickoff return for touchdowns with 7. And he has now the Mountain West Conference record for total career kickoff return yards, voted by the state media, not surprisingly, as the USU Athlete of the Week.
You deserve that, too. So, okay, for our history's sakes, we always ask you for some history on Aggie football. Quick, give us a rundown. This is, as we said, played a lot on homecoming and the 3rd most played Aggie series. And then after you give us that, tell us how you think the game goes tonight.
Yeah, the series goes back to 1902. 1902. We've spent a total of 55 years with these Aggies and now, Rams in
they
different
had the
leagues.
Aggies at one time, too.
They were. So we've been in different leagues with them over the years. This is the 77th meeting with 35 wins for the Aggies, 39 for the Rams, couple of ties. Aggies have won the last 2. USU's record against them in Mountain West Conference games is 4-4, but it's 3-1 at home. In favor of the Aggies. So what's going to happen? The more you look at Colorado State's season so far, the more reasons you discover that lead you to believe that this is a pretty good football team. I don't know if they're the best opponent on the Aggie schedule, but they are tough. And again, I kind of point to the defense when I say that. Now, their offense has made 31 trips into the red zone. That's a bunch, and they love their kicker, but they're not happy with those 31 trips that they don't have more than 14 touchdowns. They have 13 field goals, and that's not good enough for them. A story I saw quoted Centeio, the quarterback, saying that's the missing piece. He said, I assume they're working on that this week to make their red zone effectiveness better. Now, we've mentioned their 4 games defensively recently. The front 7 has been dominant in those games. They held each of these last 4 opponents under 300 total yards. To be honest, I don't think they've seen a passing attack like the Aggies have, and they have some young guys in their secondary, and I'm sure Logan Bonner's waiting to pick them apart, but the Aggies got to run the ball to keep too big of a rush off of them. And if the Aggies have another game like UNLV, where they become their own worst enemy with drive-killing mistakes and continue that sort of play, they're not going to beat CSU. This team, as I said, 9th in the nation in total defense, but they played run-heavy teams the first half of the season. A couple of cases, the opponent's backup quarterback was who they were trying to stop. Also, not a factor tonight, but I would rather play the Aggies' second-half schedule than CSU's second-half schedule, meaning that it behooves the Aggies to see to it that at the end of this night, everybody in the Mountain Division has one loss, meaning they hand one to CSU, because Utah State's going to fare better, I think, in the second half of the season than the Rams. I see it as a one-score game.
Close game, then.
Yeah, and the Aggies winning.
Aggies are going to have to move the ball, and again, like you said, if it's through the air, that's fine, but you got to keep their defense, again, from not making any plays, and we cannot let a running game, a power game for them. Give us big play, give them another run play like we saw against Vegas last week with big runs. You got to make them get 2 and 3 and 4 yards at a time rather than a bunch. And again, do not let their special teams guys kind of dominate this game. But I would like to have more field goals than touchdowns for them. They're 125th, I think, in the country at scoring touchdowns in the red zone up until now. So let's hope those things work for the Aggies. All right. Tonight's game day on KVNU and the Fan, presented as well by Daryl's Appliance. You buy from the one-stop appliance shop. Experienced salespeople, famous repair, replacement parts, in-house warranty department. It's Daryl's West on Airport Road. So we feature a Know Your Aggie feature with Eric Franson a couple times tonight. We've got stuff from Coach Blake Anderson coming up as well.
To me, when arguably your best player is your hardest worker, I mean, it shows up. It just does. Makes everybody else around him better. It gives everybody a tremendous amount of confidence in him. It raises the level of our.
Again, we're talking about Devin Tompkins of Utah State. And DT, we share some perspectives from him as well. Because remember, this was a guy who was in the transfer portal and might have left Utah State.
It didn't even feel right entering the portal at first. That's why, when Coach Anderson came here and he told me everything, I knew that this was exactly where I wanted to be, and I wanted to finish it here for sure.
So, again, that is Devin Tompkins, and we will have that coming up. So more perspective on our game day. We'll have some more comments and questions from players. We're on The Fan and KVNU with Aggie Game Day for homecoming tonight.
Hi, this is Brian Webster. And I'm Garrett Tanner with Cache Valley Bank. In celebration of USU's homecoming and our post-COVID opening of our mall branch location in Logan, we're inviting you and your family to our Customer Appreciation event Friday, October 22nd, 11:30 to 2:30. We'll have a La Unica food truck and lots of goodies and giveaways. We appreciate our great customers and community. Come enjoy some good food with us in front of the mall at 1320 North Main, Logan on Friday, October 22nd. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC, and go Aggies.
S.E. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. We offer a large selection of personalized service and extraordinary benefits with our integrity price guarantee. At match quality, you'll find our prices to be as low or lower than any store in the state. We consistently beat any 50 to 70% off sales, internet pricing, or so-called wholesale deals. In fact, we even price our diamonds at internet pricing, so you'll get S.E. Needham quality at internet prices. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7, where Utah gets engaged. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Advanced Heating and AC is honored to be named gold medalist for the best of Northern Utah in the AC HVAC category. They were named silver medalist for place to work and remodeler contractor. They thank you for your votes of confidence in their company. You have many choices when it comes to your home's heating and air conditioning system. Make sure you choose the gold medal winning company, Advanced Heating and AC. Call 752-7272 or stop by their showroom west of DI. Online at advancedheating-ac.com.
Building, remodeling, Daryl's has the wall oven for you. This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. We have a great selection of single and double Whirlpool wall ovens in stock right now. Whirlpool wall ovens help you manage mealtime for the whole family. That's at Daryl's, where service always comes first. Daryl's west on Airport Road.
See Daryl's Appliance in beautiful downtown Benson.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Sports Talk Radio, KLGN Logan, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Ascent Aesthetics is a premier aesthetic practice. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat are proud to offer you a professional aesthetics team. The Ascent team is passionate about education, best techniques, products, procedures, and services. If you're looking for help with Botox, fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, or skincare, Ascent will help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. See which Ascent service is right for you and learn more at AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com.
This is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. We often hear people say, I wish I could use White Pine, but I've already paid for arrangements elsewhere. Know that if you've already pre-planned with a different funeral home, you can still call White Pine. If you are being told you'll lose up to 25% of your money, White Pine will provide a discount equal to any fee for switching. If you have any questions, please stop by for a visit or give us a call. We would love to meet you and explain in more detail.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
We like to get to know the players and the coaches for Utah State. Now we're going to get to know cornerbacks coach Ray Brown. There are no wrong answers here, okay? It's just whatever comes to your mind. Which would be the hardest to live without, your phone or the internet?
My phone. It rings off the hook through calls and text messages, so I definitely think I need my phone, and also for my wife and kids to get a hold of.
That's fair enough. Would you rather go to the beach or the mountains?
That's a very good question. I've really enjoyed the mountains, but I also like the beach. I'll say the mountains because we live here. There's a big mountain across from my house, and so we really actually love the mountains now.
Would you rather go 10 years into the future or 10 years into the past?
10 years into the future. I think you always have to look forward. I'm a guy that doesn't look behind. I try to live with the next play mentality and keep things going forward from there.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, not at all. Not to me, at least. If anyone doesn't agree, I apologize. But no, I'm definitely going to say absolutely not.
Meat between buns, Philly cheese sandwich.
That's different. That's a sandwich. A ham and cheese sandwich, turkey sandwich, a hamburger, a hot dog. Nah, not at all.
Fair enough. And then maybe along the same lines, would you rather eat steak or seafood?
Seafood. Big seafood guy. My mom's from Louisiana, and so I ate a lot of seafood growing up, so I'm a big seafood guy.
Cornerbacks coach Ray Brown, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Aggies have one of the youngest coaching staffs in America, and Colorado State has maybe the longest tenured assistant coach in Chuck Heater. He's still coaching at Colorado State, and he's been in coaching like 45 or 50 years or something like that. It's amazing. Our Castellite brings you our Meet the Aggies feature, our Know Your Aggies. And Castellite, again, we had Kai Lang bowl over a guy for a touchdown in the Logan High game as our Castellite rock-solid hit. We'll have a hit in the game tonight we'll talk about from Castellite. Always, all the information for you do-it-yourselfers at Castellite.com. Both of these teams for this homecoming game tonight, Colorado State, 16th time we played them for homecoming. It's on CBS Sports Network if you're not going to the stadium. DirecTV 221, Comcast 269, 753 for HD, and Dish is 158 coming up here just past 7:30. Both of these teams really do benefit from FBS transfers. The Rams quarterback, running back, 3 of their offensive linemen, their defensive end among their best players. And you already know about Logan Bonner and Brandon Bowling and Justin Rice and Calvin Tyler Jr. and Hunter Reynolds and Patrick Joyner Jr., Byron Vaughns, what they've added to the Aggies' talent, this 4-2 start. But talking about the transfer portal, Coach Steve Addazio and Blake Anderson and their staffs already had relationships with a lot of these guys and players from previous places. But I pointed out to Coach Blake Anderson, maybe the best recruit was
he your best recruit you got?
Well, I don't know. Stats would say so. They've all played big factors, but yeah, stats would tell you that he was a pretty good one to keep at home.
We're talking about number 13, Devin Tompkins, the number 3 receiver in the country right now. 12 catches, 180 yards, 2 scores, Conference Player of the Week against UNLV. He wins that honor, and we had a chance to talk to DT on Monday.
It feels good, but if it wasn't for everybody else out there, the other 10 players, I wouldn't be able to win that award. So I'm really thankful for my teammates, for helping me achieve that.
We've asked you before, Devin, but could you expand? I just said to the coach, maybe you might have been the best recruit he made when he got here at Utah State because you decided to kind of go in the transfer portal. How close were you to even leaving, or did it ever come that far? Or once you talked to the coach, you decided to stay? What went on?
Even like when I first entered the transfer portal, it was just based off all the things that were happening at the time, with having Coach Anderson fired and, Jason Shelley getting kicked off the team. It was just a lot that was going on. And, I was missing my children as well. So, I really wanted a fresh start, and whenever Coach Anderson came to Utah State, he, the things that he was telling me, he was going to make happen, especially with having such a diverse, coaching staff and things of that nature. It really, sparked my interest a lot. And, Utah State was home for me. This is where I started at. And this is the one place that gave me a chance, that out of high school. So I'm forever grateful for this place. And I wanted to be able to, just allow myself to display my greatness here at this school. So it didn't even feel right entering the portal at first. That's why, when Coach Anderson came here and he told me everything, I knew that this was exactly where I wanted to be and I wanted to finish it here for sure.
And then your other story about you mentioned your kids and your children. That's a big deal you can tell to you, and talk about how you manage that and how you're a dad and a player and keep track of things like that.
Really just, the longer that I've been doing this now, I've been doing it for a couple of years. So it's starting to be just, second nature, but it's really, whatever you want to do, whatever is really important to you, you'll find a way to do it, whether it's being able to manage time, also having great people around you, also like I've met some really great people who helped me a lot on this journey, as well as, and that has taught me how to be a really great man. So I'm just really thankful for all those things,
What are your kids' names and how old are they?
My daughter, Naomi, she's 3 years older than my son. His name is Messiah. He's 2 years old.
Sure, you're not that much into Colorado State yet because of the short week and coming back and all, but they may be the best defense you've faced up until now, the way they're playing right now. And then can you remember the game over there the last time you played Colorado State? And then, you won the game here in Logan the last time you played, but the one over there was one that kind of stands out, how you guys pulled that out late and then looked like you'd lost and still won.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely that game my freshman year, that was that game really was a big reality check for me, especially like that was my first game I was able to start a punt return because Jordan Nathan was hurt at the time. And I ended up muffing the punt, in the fourth quarter with probably like a minute left on the clock. And I just remember, it was like 2 minutes left in the game, yeah. And I remember like I whenever the ball went through my hands and then they recovered it, I was like, I lost us the game, and it was just, that hurt me a lot, but it was like the team, the environment of the team or the energy of the team, everybody started, patting me up. They were trying to bring me up, and like, they weren't like, oh, like, you made a freshman mistake or anything like that. It was like, you're good, man. Like, it's all good. And then at the time, Coach Bouknight was here and he put me back in at receiver, and I ended up catching a pass. So that helped me out too. That helped build my confidence back after I did that. And, we ended up winning the game. So that was definitely a big learning lesson for me in my college career.
What a memorable game, again, in 2018. He had a touchdown against the Rams in 2019 here in Logan, but 2 punt returns, but he fumbled that ball. Colorado State scored in 3 plays and left a minute and 36. And then Jordan Love and the Aggies needed 53 seconds, took the lead back on the Aaron Vaughn's touchdown catch, and then that memorable last 43 seconds. The Aggies get that late hit. There's a sack in there, but some catches. And then Preston Williams comes up with that catch with no time left. It appeared Colorado State wins by 1, but the ruling was he stepped out of bounds, and it was the right call. We're illegal touching the Aggies 29-24. Now Tompkins and the Aggies this year. He's really fallen in love with Logan Bonner, his quarterback.
He's a leader, he knows how to actually take over a game. And I trust him so much back there, because he's just like, I know he's going to make his decisions, sometimes like, and not every quarterback's perfect, but, he's somebody that I can want to work, I can want to run my routes full speed for, and I want to play hard for because I know he's going to play hard as well.
Bonner, 59%, 1,533 yards, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Again, it's kind of interesting how that's gone. But it's a rugged assignment for Devin and Bonner tonight against this Colorado State team, as Craig mentioned, number 9 in the country in defense. They're number 8 in sacking the quarterback. Coach Addazio's team, again, as Craig mentioned earlier, just smothered New Mexico last week. I mean, the Lobos just 11 yards passing. But he knows that Bonner and the Aggies will be a different assignment tonight for his defense that has been improving.
I think our defensive front has gotten better each week. And so, this is not a new phenomena here. I mean, for the last 3 games, we've seen them really starting to rise up and stop the run and put great pressure on the quarterback. I think our linebackers are playing more consistently. And I think in the back end, we're growing and developing. We had veteran players that didn't take a snap during training camp due to injuries, and then a bunch of young guys. So I think we're a work in progress, but we're getting better each week.
It is the marquee matchup tonight. Number 13 offense of the country, number 9 defense. Hope Utah State, of course, wins the trend of that here to keep this series going. 8 of the last 12 winners have scored at least 30 points. So they hope the Aggies get to that point tonight, although Dimitri Aliafua says this is really a step up defensively from where the Aggies were last week against UNLV.
Man, this is a really formidable defense. We've got to do our best to really establish the run, take advantage of our double teams, and open up those holes. We got good backs, got great receivers, and good quarterbacks. We just have to give them an opportunity. Make sure that they get to the line and don't have to make a cut behind it. And hopefully we'll see what happens. We just got to play harder, longer, just like as always.
And Justin Rice knows that the way the Aggies defense has got to take care of things tonight. The Rams are going to play one way, and the Aggies, he's been there before. He's played Colorado State.
They're just going to come in and try to dominate the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball. We know we have to be more physical, so that's kind of the same game plan that this coaching staff is going to bring in here, and that's kind of what it's going to be. It's just going to be a 12-round fight, and we're just going to have to be the last one standing at the end of it. Their roster the same for the past couple coaching staffs, so kind of keep that same 12 personnel, 13 personnel, try to run the ball, play action shots, get it over your head. So they're just going to try to come in with the same mentality that we all know they've been there, still are, and that's come in, pound the rock, and get it over your head in the pass game.
Justin Rice, the Aggies' leading tackler, he starts on defense with A.J. Von Pachong at linebacker, Cash Gilliam at the striker. Up front, Hale Motu Opawaka and Marcus Moore, we hope will be back. I don't think he has to sit out any of this game after being targeted last week. I think that was first half anyhow. And Nick Henniger has played great. The coach really singled him out for his leadership, along with Patrick Joyner Jr. Then in the secondary, again, like I said, I've seen more of Michael Nwanyu lately, and Grayson, Lampkin, but on the safeties, again, you've got Bond and Reynolds and McGarry, who played the most there. Offensively, again, running back, Elion Noah. I mean, Calvin Tyler Jr. had a couple of moments, but Noah had the big runs there late in the game for the Aggies last week. Bonner at quarterback. Again, outside receivers, McGriff and Wright. Then you got Tompkins and Bowling in the slot. And, of course, the offensive line. Chandler Dolphin now at center. Really proud to be an Aggie and have a scholarship this year. We'll see if Jacob South comes back. Cole Motes at that spot, they really do rush the passer. So the tackles have got to do a job, and Alfred Edwards and Motes or South. And then White and Aliafua. At one time in the game, they did prove White to tackle last week, and then Wade Meacham was in there playing on the offensive line. That's our starting lineup tonight for SC Needham Jewelers. Again, introducing these lab-grown diamonds. They are man-made diamonds that cost considerably less and are still natural diamonds that are incredibly beautiful, too. SC Needham Jewelers brings you our game day on KVNU and The Fan.
NMLS 1817019.
LendRight Mortgage declares freedom from high rates and closing costs with the introduction of our Freedom Loan. What is a Freedom Loan? 1, you pay 0 closing costs. 2, you get a rate that's the same or lower than the rate other lenders charge you thousands in points and fees to get. The choice is clear. Pay thousands more than you should with another lender, or get the same or lower rate and have the Freedom Loan cover 100% of your closing costs. Act now. Freedom Loan APRs are as low as 1.92% for 8 to 15-year terms and 2.67% for 16 to 30-year terms. Call 801-APPROVE or visit lendrightmortgage.com. Get a Freedom Loan and say no to high rates and closing costs. Call 801-APPROVE or visit lendrightmortgage.com.
Hi kids! Today we're going to learn the difference between dirty and clean. See this car? It's dirty. Now watch as it goes through Green Gorilla Car Wash. Now the car is clean. To recap, first the car was dirty. Now it's clean. Dirty, clean. You get it? And for only $14.99, get monthly unlimited washes good for any of their washes, including the $18 Jungle Wash with ceramic coating.
No one thinks their vehicle's dirty until they see what clean looks like. Green Gorilla Car Wash in Logan, and now their new location in Smithfield.
As you've noticed, the season has changed, and the holidays are coming, and so are your guests. You need beds for them to sleep in and a new couch to sit on. Well, with family and friends coming, UNI Furniture is the place to help you be ready. Find the popular-selling queen-size therapeutic mattress for only $3.99. Or here's an idea. Move the bed you're sleeping on to the guest room and upgrade your mattress. See all the chairs, too, at UNI's Chair Heaven. Accent chairs, lift chairs, and, of course, recliners. There's always a better buy at UNI Furniture in downtown Logan.
Colonel? Good morning, sir. I see you found a way to keep our cannon out of the mud.
Pavers, sir. As a mason, I used to lay them for courtyards and patios.
Brilliant.
Thank you. They hold up beautifully no matter how punishing the conditions.
I can see that. Say, after the war, think you'd be available to pave my patio at Mount Vernon?
Stone pavers from Castellite really catch your eye. Do it yourself with the expert help at Castellite. For all your brick, block, rock, paver, and tile needs, go where the pros go. Castellite.com.
This is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. We often hear people say, I wish I could use White Pine, but I've already paid for arrangements elsewhere. Know that if you've already pre-planned with a different funeral home, you can still call White Pine. If you are being told you'll lose up to 25% of your money, White Pine will provide a discount equal to any fee for switching. If you have any questions, please stop by for a visit or give us a call. We would love to meet you and explain in more detail.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Cold weather is here. Let the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah's Fireplace category help you update your home with Heat and Glow's full line of gas or wood-burning products. Building a new home? Let the professionals at Advanced Fireplace and Stove design and install your fireplace. From traditional to modern, Heat and Glow has something for every design and every budget. Install a product that will allow your family to make memories for years to come. Stop by at their showroom or visit them at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Look, I admit in the past we've been a little bit hard on Lewiston for not buying mattresses. All that has changed now. Lewiston has practically written IntelliBed into their city bylaws. This makes us feel like celebrating. Hooray for Lewiston! You're finally sleeping better, Lewiston. We thought that you were all insomniacs. Now we can relax. Good job, Lewiston. I gotta tell you, though, I am concerned about Mendon. My Mattress by the new Walmart.
The clock is ticking and Aggie football is getting closer. It's KVNU Game Day.
Yeah, it'll be a huge factor. And I think anytime you take a short week, it even heightens the sense of awareness, I think, in that particular phase.
Talking about special teams play, which Colorado State's got some All-Americans as their kickers, but they did give up a punt return last week, and that was one thing Steve Addazio at age 62, the 23rd ever Colorado State coach, wanted to do, was turn around the special teams play from last year. Craig mentioned earlier, he was one time with Urban Meyer at Florida, Indiana, Notre Dame, Syracuse. He was the Boston College head coach, Temple head coach, 26 years in Division I. The upheaval, remember, of the players last year, at the way Utah State handled Frank Miley's situation, there was no game last year. So it's been a while since we've been with the Rams, so let's check in with them. And again, Craig talked to a guy who covers them.
Kevin Lytle covers CSU football for the Coloradoan in Fort Collins. Kevin, before we get to CSU football, a few weeks ago, CSU was mentioned in connection with moves being made by the American Athletic Conference, adding some teams because they lost some other teams and so forth. What's happened to that talk?
Yeah, it was kind of a whirlwind of things. You kind of figured the Mountain West and the AAC were going to be in a tug of war a little bit to, try and expand after, the trickle-down effect from Texas and Oklahoma. And for a minute there, it looked like Colorado State was going to be one of the teams going. Basically, the AAC courted San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, and Air Force to, kind of replenish after, three of their teams are now heading to the Big 12 in the near future. And, there were discussions and everything. Boise and San Diego State were the first ones to pull out, but it still looked like and sounded like, and, we were hearing a lot of chatter. There's a lot of chatter everywhere that CSU and Air Force were going to go. When that kind of got out, I think there was maybe a little, some fan backlash. It wasn't, crazy or anything, but not everyone was excited. And, all the powers that be kind of decided that, a move to AAC would be, somewhat lateral at that point and decided to stay put and stay in the Mountain West. And so that's where it's at. The Mountain West has said it will look to expand, but in the last day or two, we've also seen that the AAC is kind of snapping up a whole bunch of other teams. So it's kind of chaotic right now, but Mountain West kind of just standing pat while everyone moves at the moment.
Well, we wanted to clear that up, so I appreciate you helping us with that. Let's talk some football here now. And the season didn't start really well for CSU with the losses to South Dakota State and Vanderbilt, but then these wins at 3 in the next 4 games, Toledo, San Jose State, which was expected to do well this year, and of course New Mexico. The loss, to me, appears to be a well-played loss to a number 5 team in the country. And how did the team and the coaches feel about that result at Iowa?
Yeah, I think you're spot on there. CSU played really well at Iowa. They were up by a touchdown at halftime, and kind of partway through the third quarter, still had Iowa on the ropes, and then kind of a quick turnover sort of flipped the game. But they played really well. Obviously Iowa, they just had the Purdue loss, but has been showing really well. And that was a really impressive game for CSU because you kind of expected, you don't really expect anyone to go into Iowa and dominate them or play with them, I should say. They didn't dominate them, but it was a really good game. And it's been you said it's been a weird season. I mean, the first 2 weeks were terrible. South Dakota State obviously is a very good FCS team, but they just dominated CSU. And then a week later, CSU had a big lead on Vanderbilt and just collapsed and lost to that. And, a home loss to Vanderbilt obviously is not a good look. So things looked really bad. and then a road win at Toledo, a good game at Iowa, and then back-to-back Mountain West wins. And all of a sudden, the vibe around Colorado State football is a lot different than it was, in the first couple weeks of the season.
It certainly has turned. I think appreciate Kevin Lytle with Craig Hislop there on that interview here on our game day. Brought to you in part by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, the Allergy Clinic, Hearing Aid Center, Ascent Aesthetics are accepting patients right now in North Logan and Providence. Most insurance products, including SelectMed, are accepted. Go to CacheValleyENT.com. This is a team that has 3 tight ends who play very well for their offense, led by their All-American Trey McBride. He's the number 8 receiver in the country. He's their star on offense. Number 85 has a brother named Toby who plays on the defensive front. Coach Addazio is riding on that 3 tight end system to really get more diverse with his offense. It's really been happening. Now, what about his thoughts on Utah State into the game tonight?
Playing an outstanding Utah State team, 10 returning starters. I think they have an elite quarterback, obviously in Bonner, really good running back, outstanding receivers, good up front, explosive offense. Play it fast, play in tempo, get the ball vertically down the field, and really stress your defense. So they've done a great job. Really well-coached outfit, really well-coached team. I'm not surprised. Coach Anderson's a hell of a coach and got a lot of experience. So this team looks outstanding on defense. Coach Banda's done a great job as a defense coordinator. I think they're really well put together on defense. They got some talented guys there as well, and I think it's going to be quite a great challenge for us. Going out there in a short week on the road out to Logan, and it's going to be quite a task against an outstanding football team.
I think he said he's never been to Logan before. Blake Anderson knows a real offensive key tonight is handling this run defense that is number 8. The Rams' defense is number 8 in the country, also in quarterback sacks. And the Aggies have protected Logan Bonner pretty well so far.
They typically like to play just bringing 4, and their edge rushers are good enough to get away with it. Some simulated pressure where they're bringing 1. Don't sell out and bring 6 or 7 a lot because they're honestly good enough to get there without it. And I think they'd rather protect their back end a little bit and keep another guy in coverage because their 2 edge rushers are really, really good and going to be a challenge for us.
And the coach's comments tonight brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. Remember, you can schedule your service right now to get that furnace ready to go for winter. AdvancedHeating-AC.com, 752-7272, the number. Game day on the Fan and KVNU continues in just a moment.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Your team's in the locker room ready to get out there and play to win, but you see a player you don't recognize. They're wearing your jersey and even know your coach's name. But who are they? Would you let this stranger look at your team's playbook? That's exactly how phishing attacks work. In 2020, the number of phishing attacks against businesses doubled compared to the previous year. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
The Riverwoods Conference Center is the center in Cache Valley for business, entertainment, and special events. Whether you're hosting a large or small event, you have the choice of inside with all the new modern interior renovations or outside along the scenic banks of the beautiful Logan River. The Riverwoods is an ideal choice, offering seamless planning, easy catering coordination, and will make your event as professional or as beautiful as desired. To book your next event or for more info, visit theriverwoods.com or call 435-750-5151. We'll see you at the Riverwoods.
I'm here with Jay Broadbent from Alpine Home Medical. Jay, I hear your ads for CPAP resupply all the time. What do I need to do to just get that taken care of?
It's easy. We can set up your CPAP resupply within a few minutes. We'll work out all the insurance for you, and then we'll start mailing the supplies straight to your door. You can even chat with a CPAP specialist online. Just visit us at alpinehomemedical.com. We'll have you sleeping better in no time.
Alpine Home Medical. We bring wellness home.
For farmers, even in times like these, life on the farm goes on. Your job is still planning, planting, harvesting, supervising farm labor, and to be on call 24 hours a day. Our job is to make sure you have the resources to keep doing it and the banking tools you need to run your farm business efficiently. In times like these, it's good to have a bank like this. D.L. Evans Bank. This is community banking.
Western Extermination is your simple solution for lawn care and pest control. Your yard is meant to be enjoyed without bugs like ants and wasps, mosquitoes, and spiders, plus rodents that chew up your lawn and garden. Western Extermination offers fertilization to keep your lawn green and healthy and to keep weeds away. If rodents, nuisance animals, roaches, and bed bugs are a problem, you can count on Western Extermination to exterminate the problem. Ask about military and advance pay discounts, residential and commercial properties, curb-to-curb services. Western Extermination has you covered. 512-0014. That's 512-0014 for Western Extermination.
Talking about Aggie football like no one else can. KVNU Game Day is back with a voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis.
He's been growing and developing since the beginning. We had a little bit of a rough start, but he hung in there. We all hung in there, worked at it, kind of like our team. We're evolving. And
that's Steve Addazio talking about their kicker, Caden Camper, who just keeps being the most prolific field goal kicker in the country. And then, of course, we hope that they will kick off the ball, although I doubt they will, to Savon Scarver. I asked Savon again last week, are you hungry to maybe be the get for number 8 and be the all-time leader in the NCAA?
We've got a lot of offense right now.
Oh, man, I'm very hungry. I'm not even hungry. I'm starving for it. It's going to be me reverting back to my work ethic at practice and continuing to go hard. So when the next opportunity presents itself, if it comes, then I'll be ready.
Meantime, again, the Aggies on special teams, speaking of the game tonight, the coach said, of course, they're key in the game. They did miss 3 field goals against UNLV.
Figure out some things on field goal. We got to be able to get chip shots in. And right now it's either protection or bad technique on the kick. Both of them are a problem, and it's something we got to get fixed this week.
Let's go back to Eric again for our Know Your Aggies feature to find out more about our kicker, who I think will return, Connor Coles. Remember, he is playing with a broken foot, we found out.
Getting to know Connor Coles, part of our special teams at Utah State. And Connor, there are no wrong answers, so whatever comes to your mind. Where is your happy place?
My happy place, I'd have to say Beehive Basin, and it's in Big Sky, Montana. I grew up in Bozeman, and it's a meadow. It's about a 3-hour hike, and there's not really any people up there. There's just a bunch of marmots, and so it's just a good place to sit down and hang out.
Okay, very isolated.
Yeah, it's really peaceful.
Nice. Okay. Controversial question: is cereal soup?
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so either, but some people think it could be. What's on your playlist before game time?
I like classic rock, and I like a little bit of some more quiet stuff. It's funny, like the rest. I like Simon and Garfunkel a lot. It's a little I know that's not like a typical pregame playlist. But being a kicker, my job's a little different. Like I don't have to get super hyped up to go smack heads with somebody. I just need to get in the right headspace to kick my field goals and get my job done. So I like more like calm, like Simon and Garfunkel is a big one that I like, and I also like Tame Impala. That's a band out of Australia. Yeah,
I know them. I like them. And then last question for me: favorite ice cream flavor?
I like chocolate ice cream. I like chocolate in general, and I'd have to just say chocolate. Not
just straight chocolate, nothing else in it, not like chocolate chunks or brownies, or just straight chocolate.
Yeah, I guess there's like river runs through it. I don't know if that's a ice cream out here, but back in Montana, it's just chocolate ice cream with like fudge in it. That's that type of thing.
Wow, that sounds really good. Connor Coles, thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for talking with me.
Another Know Your Aggies feature with Eric Franson. We appreciate it on a game day, and we're going to finish it up, our game day coverage, as we head towards the Aggies kickoff a little past 8:30 here on the CBS Sports Network tonight at the stadium for game day for homecoming. It's on the Fan and KVNU, and we'll be right back.